stretching your dollar. Time to talk transmissions. Oh, I fell asleep there for a second. Talking transmissions. I'm awake now. Stephen Nuttall is with Nuttall Tire and Battery. I joke about that because we do take our transmissions, for granted a lot of times. But as we show a picture of what one looks like, explain kind of the gist of it for those of us who don't know the importance of a transmission.
Well, essentially, Dondi, a transmission is basically the unit that makes the car go when you push the gas. Mm-hmm. You put it in gear and it's the unit that makes it go. So
when we need to service it, the question is, as we look at that, how often does that need to be serviced, and how much of that transmission is actually being serviced? Because that looks like a huge piece, obviously, that goes in the vehicle.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what that is. That's a pretty big unit there.
Maybe it's for a semi.
Exactly, maybe so. Well, let me just say that, we constantly, all of us mostly think, when we think of servicing something, we think of changing our oil. That's the most common thing.
Or looking at the tires, that sort of thing.
And and we don't really think of our transmissions needing to be serviced. But a transmission really needs to be serviced, a good rule of thumb, every 20 to 30,000 miles. The fluid is a dark cherry red type color, and over time it breaks down over time and starts to turn into a blackish color. Mm-hmm. The concern about that is that when it gets to that point, the heat that's inside that transmission breaks that fluid down, and it doesn't do the job that it's supposed to do.
And then we can overheat?
It can overheat the transmission. See, motor oil has the job to lubricate things, where transmission fluid has the job not only to lubricate things but dispense heat. Mm-hmm. So when it breaks down, it can no longer dispense a lot of that heat that's continuing to evolve through that transmission, and it can over time damage parts.
Are there warning signs we should watch for?
There's really not any warning signs, except for the fact that if your transmission fluid gets too dark, it could very well be too late to change the transmission fluid. When you get to that point, we recommend not to change it, because the detergent that's in the new fluid can cause particles to release inside that transmission, which can then damage some of the hydraulic parts.
Interesting. All right. I'm not sleeping through that anymore. That was actually interesting. What question do you have about your car? Stephen can help you. All you need to do is go to our website, wistv.com/4 p.m. Stephen will take your questions until 4:30. Thank you, Mr. Nuttall, as always.
Thank you, Donna.
Check of the weather, Vaughn.